the band director here at Oxford High School, and this is entering my third year here. So I taught at Olive Branch for 11 years, and then I actually came here as an assistant for 2, and then I went to Senatobia for 2 years, and then the head director that was here that I worked with previously left and went to Ole Miss, and so when he did that, I came back here to take over the head spot. I started band in 6th grade, like most Mississippi band directors or musicians anyway. We start band usually in 6th grade, and I actually joined on a whim. One of my best friends said, "Hey, I'm going to go try out to see if I can be in the band," and he's like, "You want to come?" And I said, "Sure." So I went along with him and tried out, and got put on saxophone when I was in 6th grade, and started saxophone playing then when I was in 6th grade through high school. And by about 9th grade, I had the realization that I wanted to be a band director. It is a challenging job at times. It's a full-time job is the biggest thing. As a band director, at least in Mississippi, we tend to teach 6 through 12. Like I said, it's beginners all the way through seniors. And so we travel, like here, we travel to 3 different schools every day. So I start my day over at the intermediate school, and I teach 2 periods of beginner band there, and then I leave there and travel to the middle school, teach some 7th grade, teach some 8th grade, and then we have a short transition. We come over here, and then we have high school band afterwards. And then on Friday nights, there's football games you go to, and then Saturdays during the fall, there's contests, marching contests, as well as there's concerts that we attend and we go to and we put on. We harp on fundamentals just like any sport or any activity. You know, if your fundamentals aren't strong, then the program itself won't be strong. So in 6th grade, for me, it's teaching, here's how you sit, here's how you hold your instrument correctly, here's how you produce a characteristic tone, just the very basic fundamental things. Here's how you read music, here's how you understand rhythms. And then we moved to 7th grade, and 7th grade is more geared toward individual musicians. So we want to try to get each individual player as good as we can get them in 7th grade. So once they have the fundamentals from 6th grade, they can start to just play really well on their personal instruments. So we want the woodwinds, the clarinets, saxophones, flutes to be able to play scales in multiple octaves. We want the brass players to start developing better range, percussionists to understand different terminology and be able to move through different instruments fluidly. And then in 8th grade, we work with them on sounding like a band. So they take the skills that they've developed in 7th grade and put them into practice for the band.
Your internet could be free with ACP. MaxSouth Broadband has been approved by the FCC as an affordable connectivity program provider to help qualified households in our communities pay for internet services. You may be eligible for up to $30 a month towards your internet service. This could cover the full cost of high-speed internet services. This new benefit will keep households connected to jobs, critical healthcare services, and virtual classrooms. Your internet could be free with ACP.
Where do we listen for tempo? Gave that away. The percussion all the time, right? So, good. Y'all ready? Y'all ready, color guards? All right, here we go. Beginning all the way to there. This is the first 2 chunks of the opener. We're not going to stop. We're going to go all the way through. Game day is probably one of our favorite parts because we actually get to show people what we're doing. We get to perform, and we practice a whole lot for the amount of time that we actually get to perform. So I think game day is one of the things that we look forward to because finally somebody else gets to see all the work that we're doing and gets to see the product that we've been working on since, you know, the last 2 weeks of July. We'll get to show it off to somebody for the first time. Like this Friday night's our first game, and we'll be able to, somebody will actually get to see what we're doing. Our halftime shows each year, we will choose them. Honestly, there's not really a criteria. We look for something that we think the crowd will be interested to hear and see, and we look for something that I think the kids can relate to and enjoy performing, as well as basing it on the sheets that we use for competitions to see, we still want to score well. So we want to see how they fit with those sheets. So it's just kind of an amalgamation of all of it. We just choose something that we think the kids will like, and also that the crowd can, on a Friday night that doesn't know anything about band, can sit and go, oh, okay, I can appreciate what they're doing. One of the things that I've been trying to do is create some tradition with some specific songs, that we play. We started playing Sweet Caroline at the third quarter break, so we could have the tradition of doing that and having something that the fans could expect to hear, and the student section knows it's coming, and they all sing along now. And so part of the atmosphere is definitely having those songs that they recognize. And every school has its school songs, for lack of a better term, where that's kind of specific to each school. And so I think those are always popular with the crowd. For me, it's the relationships with the students. One of the kind of unique things about band is that I teach the same kids from 6th grade all the way through their senior year. So most of my students, by the time they graduate, are getting close to being in college even. I've known them for nearly half their life. And so it's the relationships I get to build with the students and get to see where they go in life and get to see all the things that they do. I just really enjoy getting to see my students succeed. Rivalry is a different thing, I think, in band than football. Obviously Oxford and Lafayette is a big rivalry, and Oxford and South Panola has been a big rivalry for a long time. Oxford and Starkville is a big rivalry, and those are probably more rivalries for the football fans, I would say, more than the band, because for all of those band directors, we're all friends. Strangely, the band directing world's a fairly small community, and I've known at those three institutions, I've known all the band directors for 20 plus years now. So between the bands, we're really closely knit. Like a lot of our students, especially like Lafayette and South Panola, we know each other because they go to church together, they see each other. So I don't think it's as much a rivalry there, but we definitely. We want to bring our A game when we play them, because we know them and we know what they're gonna. So if they play something, we want to play it back to them even louder. Or if we play something that they play something that's upbeat, we want to try to find something that can counter what they just played. So there is a little bit of a rivalry there, but it's definitely not the same, I'd say, for sports. We're all good friends. So probably 80% of my students have gone on to play in college, and if for nothing else, they get the experience of being in a college band, and most of them, because of where we live, are in an SEC stadium, and all of a sudden you're performing in front of 80,000 people, or you're traveling down to Death Valley and in front of 100,000 people, and it's just a great thing for them to get to do, and an experience that a lot of people aren't afforded if they're not in band.
It's a new day at MaxSouth. We are excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628.
I have some students that one of my all-time favorite students, she ended up being one of the drum majors at Alabama, And so I went for her first game at Alabama. I went over to Tuscaloosa and got to see her be the drum major for the first time. And I've got students all over the place. There's some that are in Disney right now that are performing, and just some of them are still playing. I see them on Facebook probably more than anywhere, but a lot of them come back to visit. And we talk a lot about culture. We talk about a culture of excellence where every day we're going to be better than we were the day before, and we're going to do whatever our best is for that day every time we come to rehearsal. And that's something I think that they carry with them throughout their lives, hopefully, is that no matter what it is they're doing, it's the best of their ability every time they do it. And we do spend a lot of time. I talk about culture just about every week. We have a day, we talk about it. During rehearsals, we talk about it, everything like that, to help them hopefully get that to be an intrinsic value, that they're going to always put their best foot forward every time. Well, my advice for anybody that's getting into band directing, number one would be to find a mentor. Find somebody that you trust, that is established, that's been a band director, and spend as much time watching them as possible. We learned a lot in college, but honestly, it doesn't really prepare you until the first time you're standing alone in front of 60 kids and you're not really sure what to say. So my best advice, and the thing that helped me the most, was finding a mentor, finding somebody that I could watch. Because I've had probably 12 or 14 student teachers, and I tell all of them, the best thing that ever happened to me was sitting and watching. Everything that I learned from watching somebody else, and everything that I say, I pretty much stole it from somebody else. There's not a whole lot of new ideas in band directing, but so many band directors maybe don't live in an area where they feel comfortable asking for somebody else, or they don't know anybody, or they don't know who to ask. I always say, find a mentor, find somebody that has done band and done it at a high level, and watch them. Go see how they talk to the kids. Go see how they relate to the kids and how they handle just everything that comes up in the day-to-day parts of being a band director, balancing home life and balancing that, how they do paperwork versus time in front of an ensemble, because all those are things you don't really learn until you're out in the real world.
Who are we? Oxford! What do we strive for? Excellence! Are we good? No! Are we great? Yes! Good or great? Great!
Here's that stuff we just did, shoulders with limbs. Come on, now let's all listen to each other.